I'm Megan. I'm a photographer and watercolor artist with chronic health challenges, POTS, and wrist strength issues. I am not a doctor. This is just my personal experience because I've had POTS for 15 years. I was just looking through my notes app. So this was when I had POTS for 10 years. I made a quick start guide. So I thought I would share that with you today. Number 1, there are 20 points on the list. Okay. Drink water before you go to the bathroom. When you go to the bathroom, you are dropping your blood pressure because you are losing the liquid that is in your body. So if you drink water before you go to the bathroom, then you're helping to level that out so you don't have the plummeting blood pressure and then the skyrocketing heart rate because you've gone to the bathroom. Drinking water will always help with plummeting blood pressure and skyrocketing heart rate. Number 2, standing and dehydration are the enemies. I think I've been reading too many books about how to write a cozy mystery. The enemies, the bad guys in the story are dehydration and standing. Number 3, log water in an app before you have it. If you forget, don't log it anyway. Your tracking app will be inaccurate for the first few weeks while you are learning to log water. That's okay. I'll add here to my note that I made, the reason that you want to not log the water if you're not sure if you had it or not is because it's better for your water tracking app to say you've had less water so that you drink more water versus your water tracking app says you've had all the water you need, so you might not drink as much water as you need, because drinking water is one of the most important things. Staying hydrated is very important. Number 4, keep your head above your heart when you bend over. Otherwise, the blood will rush to your head. And then when you stand back up, the blood will rush away from your head, making you very lightheaded and you will need to sit. Things like drying your hair, picking something up off of the ground. Use your toes instead of bending over, if you can, to pick the thing up off of the ground. Don't stand to have a conversation. As you stand, the blood pools in your feet and isn't in your head, so you get brain fog. And then you don't realize you feel bad from standing. And whatever you were doing, like making food while you were standing, will take longer if you are also talking. It prolongs the standing. It helps to keep moving if you must stand. For circulation, walk across the room, shuffle in place, cross your ankles, stand on one leg, dance. Don't stand still. The enemies of POTS are dehydration and standing. Number 5, exercise. Exercise is important because it is circulation. Circulation is essentially the opposite of standing, in the same way that hydration is the opposite of dehydration. If you're dehydrated, you drink water. If you are standing too much, then you need some circulation. I have found that it really helps to get a bit of circulation every day. I started with walking a quarter of a mile every day. Before that, I just started by getting out of the house in my pajamas and sitting in the car and going to the park and seeing nature while my family walked the dog. Now I can go with them. It's so cool. And it's taken so long. It took so much determination to walk a quarter of a mile, not walk longer on days I felt better, and go even when I felt really bad. And I have an amazing support network in my family. Would say to them things like, I'm feeling really brain foggy right now. I'm not here right now. Like, help me cross the parking lot, because I will not be aware that there's a car coming. Things like that, which are really scary when you have health challenges and you get brain fog and you're like, somehow I need to figure out how to cross this parking lot and I can't even be aware enough that there's a car. But I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to walk. And I just did that every single day. It's been 3 years. I have worked up to a mile every day. It's quite an accomplishment. And I really thought at some point I would be not tired. I did this exercise walking thing every day for long enough that now I'm not tired trying to get out of the house. I still get tired going out of the house. I still go for walks in my pajamas when I don't have the energy to get dressed for the day. I still miss showers because I'm walking. I'm determining that the exercise is more important than the showering, than the getting changed into daytime clothes and just live in the pajamas. They look like outerwear. They're lightweight seersucker pants. It's like really lightweight, breathable fabric. You know, a black t-shirt. I think they're like Pima cotton from Land's End. There's that. And then hypermobility. I've got a course from Jeannie DeBon. She's here on YouTube, but I bought her course. It's Strengthen Your Hypermobile Core. I'll link it for you in the description. I've done 2 out of the, I think there are 5 lessons. I've done lesson 1, and then 3 or 4 days later did lesson 1, and then 3 or 4 days later did lesson 1 and went, oh, that's what we're working on. Hey, there's a muscle there. Oh, I just was going through the motions. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying to be really careful to not hurt myself. I was so afraid to start this thing and hurt myself. This is the only exercise course ever that understands me, that gets the whole, like, if I push my joints too far, if I like stretch to the fullest extent that I can, if I go for the full range of motion, like, things are gonna really hurt. But she has said her like core principle of this course is we're not working on the range. We're not going for the fullest range. We're working on control. We want to actually not push things as far as they can go. And that has been so valuable. I would definitely recommend it. I don't have like an affiliate link or anything, but I'll link it for you in the description. I really wish I had found that sooner. It's just to be understood in that way and to have the tools necessary to like learn and strengthen my body. I'm literally feeling muscles. I was telling my mom my stomach hurts. And then eventually came to the conclusion that I'm working out stomach muscles and like the hurting is stomach muscles. I was like, am I nauseated? Is this from a migraine? Is it, it's that time of the month. Is it, I'm gassy. No, I'm building muscle. My stomach's not hurting from food. It's like this thing that's like building muscle. It's really cool. So I did lesson 1 for a month, and now I'm doing lesson 2. I think it's been like a month and a half that I've been doing that. I was doing every 3 days, and now what I'm doing is the POTS cardio chart. It's like month 4 where the bike is introduced. So it's just 20 minutes of biking. It's like the upright bike. And then every other day, walking. Every other one that's the biking is the strength training. So at some point I'll need to move on to lesson 3, but I think I should just stick with the thing that is building something. Work slowly, That's been really valuable. Number 6, smaller meals. Half-size meals every 2 hours. Your stomach takes the blood to process the food, and heavy meals take the blood from other places to process the food. I've found that it helps to have 75 grams of a starch, like quinoa or oatmeal, and 75 grams of a protein, like whitefish, imitation crab or something, or lunch meat, things like that. Potatoes, I have found, even though they are a starch, they're too heavy to actually get enough nutrition out of them. If you compare 75 grams of potatoes and the nutrition in that to 75 grams of quinoa or 75 grams of oatmeal. When I have vitamins, I'll have the petite vitamins. It's like half of a vitamin, and I'll have one with a meal, and then I'll have the other one with the other meal. So I divide the vitamin up between different meals that I have 2 hours apart from each other. Those are from 1 a day. And I find that I need the quinoa in order to have the vitamin. And sometimes I'll add 30 grams of peas. ORS, which is short for oral rehydration solution, is great for hydration. The one that I have is from Ultima. The sweetener in it doesn't have that thing that makes you feel bad like most artificial sweeteners do. Make sure that you have that with food. I will log it as though it's a medicine. So half hour after I have one of my small meals, I'll have a half of an ORS and I end up having like 16 ounces of it in a day, 8 ounces with this meal, 8 ounces with that meal. It really does help. I struggle to go for a walk every day if I haven't had the ORS already. So I need to make sure I have that early enough in the day. It helps you stay hydrated by holding the water for you. Otherwise, the water just kind of runs right through you. Number 8, drink a lot of water first thing in the morning. You're most dehydrated in the morning, so everything is harder then. Put on stockings first thing, drink water, sit in bed for 15 minutes before getting up. I didn't do this one day recently, and my goodness, it made such a difference for the whole day. I felt bad all day. Like it put me behind all day. Shower later in the day. Do physical therapy later after you're hydrated. You can get multiple bottles of water for everywhere. I have 4 from Tupperware. I drink about a gallon a day. That's what's recommended for adults with POTS. Okay, so what I'm doing now, as of a year ago, we traveled and I couldn't take all 4 water bottles with me, and it was too much to manage. And so I ended up with one that's a little bigger. So they used to be 16-ounce bottles, and I'd have 4 of them, and I'd carry them all upstairs, and I'd have 4, and sometimes use the disposable ones on the thing when I didn't have the energy to get the other one refilled. There was many bottles of water all over the place everywhere. You can do that. If that's where you're at, you need to do that. You can. And now what I'm doing is my water bottle is 24 ounces. I use Pro Pure. I think they are now called Pro One, and refill it every day. It's like a water filtering system, and then I refill my water bottle from that. And when I log water, I will log it in 4-ounce segments. So either I'll log 4 ounces, or I'll log 8, or I'll log 12, and then I'll do the math. Okay, so if I've had half of my 24-ounce bottle of water, I've had 12 ounces of water, and I'll log that because half of 24 is 12. And then if I only have a sip out of it, that will be 4 ounces. And then you can kind of visually see half of the bottle. I stuck a sticker on it. Half of the bottle is at this sticker line. And then if I've had a sip out of it, that's 4 ounces, which means what's left before I get to the halfway mark is 8 ounces, because 8 and 4 is 12, and then that would be half of the bottle. So just log 4 ounces or 8 ounces or 12 ounces at a time and set up in the app, do I want to drink 4, 8, or 12 right now? And then if you have an entire 16-ounce bottle of water, then you'd log it as 12 plus 4. Over time, I found this much more helpful than take a sip of your bottle and then look at it and go, okay, I guess that was 3. Was that 7? Was that 8 ounces? How much water did I just drink? I don't know. The other method would be drink the whole bottle and then log 24 ounces, which sounds simpler in theory, but my app, I have a widget. I use Waterminder. I stuck it on my home screen and I'll log, okay, I've had 4 ounces of water. And then it'll say, you haven't had water in an hour and a half. It'll turn orange. And that's very helpful. Otherwise, I will go too long without drinking water. I've actually found if I can somehow manage to get in all of the water I need for the day at the beginning part of the day, I'll feel bad late at night because I haven't had water recently. It's like if I haven't had water in 2 hours, it's been too long. I will not feel good. I get up and go to the bathroom about every hour. And that can make travel difficult, but if you plan ahead and just plan on using specific strategic rest areas, then you can plan ahead, okay, I'm going to need to drink water here because we're going to stop at that rest area, and we're going to stop at all of them. It's also important to note my water bottles are clear. They are not heavy metal. Heavy metal meaning heavy water bottle made of metal. Physically picking up a heavy water bottle will make you not drink as much water. For me, unscrewing a cap will make me not drink as much water. These are things that you want to think through strategically. Where are your friction points? If you don't like unscrewing the thing because it makes your fingers and wrist hurt, or you like flipping open a cap. I have a new flip open cap, and I'll sit here and I'll take a sip of water, and then I'll take another sip of water, and then I'll have another sip of water because the thing can be opened much easier. If it's hard to get open, you're not going to drink as much water. If it's heavy to pick up and you're tired, you're not going to drink as much water. If it's empty and it's sitting there and you're not like it's not filled with water, you're not going to drink it. So you also have to think through like how big do you want your water bottle to be, because it needs enough water so that it's not empty, but also so that you can like pick it up and it's not too heavy. And then make it pretty. Put some stickers on it. Number 9. Tea may or may not help you specifically. The caffeine in tea helps me. I've heard that it is helpful for some people with POTS and not for others. I do know that my cardiologist asked me about caffeine and tea. Do you have tea? Do you have coffee? When I started taking a beta blocker? Like, you definitely want to make sure you check with your doctor, because caffeine affects heart rate, a beta blocker affects heart rate. So, like, you want to make sure you're not contraindicating anything by accident. But I have been having caffeine tea for a really long time. I started having it when I started getting migraines. Had migraines for as long as I've had the POTS. I was in the hospital over one forever ago, and since then I've done a pretty good job of managing it. Last year I had the worst one ever, but it was when I started having the beta blocker. That thing makes you so nauseous, but the weird thing is, like, I have an upped dose recently and now I'm less nauseous. But you would think more of the medicine that is causing you to be nauseous would make you more nauseous, but I guess it's more regulated now, like the heart rate, and so the medicine's not working as hard, so I'm not as nauseous. I'm not sure. Requires further research. I'm just gonna like observe my body doing things and see how it goes. This is that's one of the hard things when you have health challenges, is like you kind of have to experiment with stuff and then hurt from it. So hopefully something I'm sharing here will help save you from a lot of that, because I learned a lot of these things the hard way. Something interesting that I have discovered since making this note: when you have caffeinated tea, you're going to have less water in your system. It's going to dehydrate you. But something like an herbal, like a mint tea, not a caffeinated mint tea, but just like on the label it says mint, is actually hydrating for you. And I have found that that really helps with like digestion. So I was having Maddie's, that's the brand name, and then they discontinued the liquid version, which was really helping me. One of the main components of that was honey. It was honey and like other spices and things, and that would help settle my stomach when I would have a vitamin, because I had to have the vitamin with a small meal and this whole thing. I also have MALS, median accurate ligament syndrome. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a lack of blood flow to the stomach, and so small meals are also really important for me for that. I found Maddie's to be really helpful, then they discontinued the liquid version. So now I'm having mint tea with some honey in it, or ginger tea. I just leave the tea bag in there until I finish my meal, and then I have really strong ginger tea, and that really helps with the nausea. If you're taking a beta blocker as well, ginger tea really helps with the nausea from that. I never know though if the nausea is from a migraine or from the beta blocker. Ginger tea helps with it. Whichever thing is causing the nausea, the ginger tea helps with that. And then honey. Number 10. Feet, chest, back of neck, and head are all places that hold heat more. If you are overheated, uncover them. If you are freezing, cover them. You may not want to wear warm pants if you get overheated easily, because you can remove a sweater, but not pants. Number 11. I have a single timer set to remind me to have water 5 hours after I get up. That seems to be the lull in water drinking. This is an interesting note for me to read, because I would think, looking back, my lull in drinking water would have been late in the evening, sometime 8 hours after getting up. It's worth paying attention to. Like, if you look back through your water logging app, you can kind of note, oh, this is the segment when I'm not really drinking any water. Maybe your medicines have worn off for the day, or maybe you've been awake for a certain number of hours and are really tired. You've had the caffeine tea really long time ago, whatever the reason is. And set a single timer to say, hey, you usually don't have water, here, have water. That's what I was doing. What I'm currently doing is I have this widget on my phone home screen and it says, hello, you haven't had water in 2 hours, and turns orange. And that was Waterminder on iOS. It's such a game changer to have a piece of technology that tells you, hello, you haven't had water in 2 hours, drink water. I've tried so many things, like setting a timer for every single hour in my clock app and then ignoring them all, and then having an app that tells you, oh, well, you haven't had water in this much time, and it gives you a notification. You know I will ignore those notifications. Those notifications come like right after you've just had a whole bunch of water, or like when you're supposed to have medicines in 10 minutes. You know how that happens. You know, the thing when you've just downed all of the water and you're like, good, now I'm hydrated, and then the timer goes off to have medicines with water and your stomach's full of water. Of course. That thing. There is a setting if you like having notifications tell you to drink water. This is still in Waterminder. It'll turn off one of the notifications for you if you have just had water. One of the things I do for you is edit out all the brain fog. I just sat there for like 30 seconds with brain fog and then said the word water. Like, what are we talking about? And I sat here staring into space for like 30 seconds and then went, water. All right. One of the interesting things that I'm seeing as a pattern through all of these notes is heat. Heat is going to dilate the blood vessels and cause more blood to pool in your legs and the lower extremities. Heat is one of the enemies. You should not use a hot tub. You shouldn't take a hot shower. You should try to dress so that you are not going to be overheated. Like, dress under for the weather and then add a sweater so that you can remove the sweater when you get overheated. I don't get overheated as much now. I think it's the beta blocker. I used to have such a skyrocketing heart rate just while sitting still. You want to make sure you don't get overheated. I don't get overheated as much now that my heart rate is not as really high. So that's been an interesting thing to try to figure out, like, where are my sweaters and how do I wear a sweater? Because I literally couldn't even wear a sweater in the winter. My heart rate was so high, and now I'm having a beta blocker. Now I get cold in the winter. It's this weird thing. All right, number 12. Ugh. I wrote that on the note. Ugh. Exercise actually helps. The purpose is circulation, with a secondary effect of eventually building muscle while simultaneously keeping you from losing muscle. Exercise with the purpose of circulation, and make sure to not overdo it so you can do it again tomorrow. We went over this earlier, and here's a note for it later. Okay. Must be important. Number 13. Make a list of distractions for when you're feeling bad. I would like to add in here, I like watching YouTube videos when I'm feeling bad from health challenges, and I have a YouTube channel, and you should subscribe to me. I have videos on watercolor, and I find that to be really therapeutic when you have health challenges. I also really like playing Stardew Valley on my phone. I can't play it on the computer because I have strength issues, but on my phone I can. If you decide to do that, go into the settings and scroll down to somewhere in the middle and hit the button to turn off the flash effects. That way you don't have the lightning when there's storms outside on your farm. And then make a list for yourself of, if you like reading books, maybe you get sound sensitive migraines and you like reading when you have a migraine. Maybe you have a list of art projects that you get to only work on when you have a migraine. That would be kind of cool. If you would like to move all of your paints around, make new fun color palettes. If you have movies that you like, I made a video all about audio descriptions and setting your screen to be warmer and darker if you get a migraine. You can find on my channel. I'll try to remember to link it for you. That's super helpful too. But it really helps to make a list of distractions before you're feeling bad. So they just have some go-to things. Eventually they just become part of your brain and you just do them automatically. Number 14. Strategize before something, not during. Like, have a bag list together of stuff you use after the shower so that you're not running around looking for things. And sit to strategize. I also find it really helpful to have a bag. What's like a go bag? It's my purse. It was a travel bag that was slightly bigger, and now it's a purse. And like before that, it was a little thing, and it's like you kind of adapt over time to whatever's going to work for you. I have a list before I go out the door. I want to make sure I have my medicines and my phone and devices. So, like, are you wearing your watch? Do you need your earbuds because you're sound sensitive right now? Medicines, phone, devices. Make sure you have your sunglasses with you. Water. If you make like this list, it becomes this repetitive thing you can say to yourself: medicines, phone, devices, glasses, water. And then you can do a checklist real quick of like the very important things. Do I have my prescription medicines? Do I take any prescription medicines in the next 2 hours while I'm going to be gone? Do I need to have them in my pocket? Do I have them in my purse? Is it refilled in my purse? And then medicines, phone. Do I have my phone with me? Does my phone have a charge? Because the phone needs to tell you to have the medicines. You need to make sure you have any other like devices. Like, is my watch charging? Should I be wearing it? Glasses. Do I need sunglasses as well? Because I have a headache. And I find it really helpful to drink water and then go to the bathroom a second time and then leave the house with a full bottle of water. I used to make sure I had a full bottle of water and then leave, but not drink water because then I'll have to go to the bathroom where I'm going. But you kind of need to drink the water in order to go do the thing. I also find it really helpful to go to the bathroom twice before I go somewhere. Number 15. This may surprise you, but you can't magically be good at this new way of taking care of yourself overnight. It's like you're learning something new or something. Number 16. Get a shower chair. It's an aid that no one will see. Don't use hot water in the shower. It will drop your blood pressure. Number 17. Compression stockings. Soft, sheer, toeless, medium compression. You can start with the knee-high. They are harder to put on when they are new. They are harder to put on when they are new. Like when they are not as new, this whole thing gets easier. Throw them in the washer, maybe in a laundry bag. You don't have to. And then hang them to dry. Leggings are also compression-y and helpful. I used to use the knee-high TheraFirm compression. They're like the sheer ease ones, and then put Fabletics Power Hold, their kind of compression leggings over top of that, and that was really helpful. And that got me to the point where I was okay with starting to use the long compression stockings. I have a video. My very first ever YouTube video that I made is about compression stockings. Like, I took the scariest topic, that's like the thing that I'd like the least, and started there with the hardest thing. That's my first video, so you should definitely go check that out. Number 18. Allow yourself to sit after doing something tiring, or standing for any length of time. This should go without saying. Number 19. Drinking water helps with recovery, and will help with a racing heart. Number 20. You're dehydrated most in the morning because you haven't been drinking water while you were sleeping. This makes things harder in the morning. You need to give yourself recovery time from getting up for the day. Hydrate and sit. Well, I hope that was all really helpful. There's a lot of stuff that I learned the hard way in here. I want you to know it's a lot to learn, and you get better with experience. You just have to keep going. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.